terribly, terribly wrong. So I have got a few little questions. You ready? Okay, it's all multiple choice, and of course it is all monsters and aliens. Right, so here we go. A zombie is a dead person revived by a sorcerer, and they remain under the control of the sorcerer since they have no will of their own. Where did the term zombie originate? Is it A, West Africa, B, South Africa, C, Egham, D, Hollywood?
Hollywood.
No.
Hey.
West Africa.
Yeah.
Africa.
I'm trying to read my own writing here. Which is quite impressive, see, it was actually typed. He's got it, it is indeed West Africa. Heads on up.
You had it first.
Now, while Shrek may be the most famous one, he is definitely not your typical ogre. What's an ogre's preferred meal? Is it sheep, goats, humans, or hagfish?
Goat. Sheep.
No, no.
Hagfish.
We're running out of options. Humans, balance.
Hey, Petra said it first.
Oh,
Right,
my apologies to Petra. I'm an old man. Someone listen up for the hearing for me. Right. Truly monstrous was the manticore, with the body of a lion, the head of a man, rows of shark-like teeth, and a scorpion's tail. Dragon in some versions of the myth. But even more surprising was its voice. Do you know what it sounded like? Was it A, the call of an eagle, B, the wail of a siren, C, the cheeky girls, or D, a trumpet?
A. Siren.
Cheeky girl.
There's
It's
always-
got to be an eagle.
Trumpet?
Trumpet. Who was that?
It was.
There you go.
It's a candy recall.
I know what you said.
Someone said trumpet.
I think it was you.
You say no.
I said it.
It was.
Alex has got to get his win for the evening.
Do we sound like men?
Alex sounds like a girl.
Yes, I do.
In Norse mythology, what was the kraken? A giant crow, A, sea serpent,
Sea serpent.
Yeah.
Give us a chance,
Somebody's
Michelle.
watching. Somebody's watching.
D, an Irishman, or C, an Irishman, or D, a giant octopus or squid? There we go, there we go. Have a pick out of the bucket.
Thank you very much.
What was it?
Squid.
It was the squid. It was all about the squidly goodness. Right. Alright, now this is an easy. Here we go. In modern fiction, it is claimed that a werewolf is vulnerable to a certain metal. I'm not even going to give you multiple choice on this.
Silver.
Yeah. Let's check something else back.
Stunning silent.
Okay, in Greek mythology, what was a gorgon? A man with the head of a bull, A. B, a horse with the torso of a man.
Horse with the torso. No.
No.
Oh.
That's you out. C, a goat that walked upright. Or D, a woman with hair living down the sides. There we go, Jill.
Somebody said D as well. Somebody's
You
back.
can have
I
some.
think he has.
No, somebody
Oh,
said
well.
Michelle first. Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with you.
We'll split the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we have a Haribo here instead?
If you can get it in the bucket, you can have a Haribo.
Just throw something out of the bucket.
There you go.
Okay, the screaming banshees are ghostly women who portend an impending death. Generally, what colour are they said to be? Red, blue, green, or grey?
Right.
Blue.
He's diabetic.
I'm going to sell them on the market. And we'll go with one final one. So, whilst blood-sucking creatures such as vampires can be found in the mythology of virtually every culture of the world, which is thought to be the first to have tales of blood-drinking demons? Is it A, Persia, B, the Romans, C, the Greeks, or D, the Dutch?
Greeks?
Persian. Dutch.
He's too good at this. But we've got plenty left, so we'll share a few around afterwards as well. You can donate that one, otherwise I fear for you.
That was exciting.
But next on up this evening, we have our next act. And this is a gentleman who is half Peruvian, half Japanese. He is making efforts to become an all-in-one United Colors of Benetton advert. Would you please welcome Mr. Matsuyuki Takeshi?
Yay!
Thank you very much, Neil. Full screen, please. Double click. Okay. Hi guys. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about the character alluded to in movie history as the king of monsters. Gojira, or Godzilla, first made his screen debut back in 1954 and went on to appear in 27 films, becoming a worldwide pop culture icon. In 2004, he was even awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And he's one of 3 fictitious characters that have actually won an MTV Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, what makes Godzilla so fascinating for me is that he's not just another fictitious monster born out of implausible circumstances. I feel very much that he, more than anyone else, was a product of his time, embodying both Japan's fear as well as its resilience in the wake of the traumas of World War II. So let me explain what I mean. In 1946, that's the year after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Ishiro Honda, the director of the first Godzilla film, visited Hiroshima and was truly devastated by the destruction that he saw. And this planted in his mind the idea of making a film that would reflect the suffering, the anger, the confusion endured by the victims of the atomic bombings. Another important catalyst for the conception of Godzilla actually happened 9 years later. So this happened in 1946. 9 years later, in 1954, when the US was testing its first hydrogen bomb at the Marshall Islands. The Marshall Islands once belonged to Japan, but later went on to become the US's testing ground for nuclear weapons. And a very unfortunate incident happened in March of this year, whereby a Japanese fishing vessel inadvertently sailed into the blast zone of the hydrogen bomb test site, causing all 23 of its crew members to become ill, and they had to go to hospital for radiation sickness. So far from being a subject of science fiction, this idea and this terrifying fear of nuclear holocaust was very much an ongoing threat within the minds of the Japanese people. Now, but the thing is, when Godzilla started off, he wasn't just a symbol of nuclear destruction. Even from the very onset, he meant more than this. And one of the reasons why Japan felt that it had lost this war, for example, was because of its technological inferiority. Right? Something it would go on to try to make up for in the decades to come. Now Godzilla, in as much as being a symbol for the US, the evil US, and the atomic bomb which had dropped, it was also a symbol of strength and resilience against the forces which had defeated Japan during the war. So I'm now going to show you a clip of the first trailer, the Japanese edition that came out in '54. And I'd like you to take note of how the sort of black and white film effect gives it a kind of film noir feel to it. They did have color video by this time, but actually the black and white effect worked to its advantage. So if you could play the first clip, please. Notice these themes of panic, of destruction, this idea that people are actually living in fear. references, of course, to the hydrogen bomb, its radiation, sphere of radiation. That's the first glance we get of Godzilla. Thank you very much. And can I have my next slide, please? Now, one of the first challenges the producers found when making this film was how to actually portray Godzilla on screen. Initially, they wanted to use stop-motion animation, which had been so successful with the King Kong films, but they realized this would be way too time-consuming, estimated to take 7 years, and they only had a time frame of 3 months. So in the end, they went for this Godzilla suit, which, despite numerous kind of modifications to try to make it more breathable, it was still very suffocating, and the temperature inside the suit would rise to as high as 54 degrees, meaning the stuntmen who wore this suit could only wear it for 3 minutes at a time. And numerous stuntmen, including this one, actually passed out. This guy is a guy called Haruo Nakajima, and he had a black belt in judo. And that just goes to show the kind of stamina that was needed to use this Godzilla suit. Now, interestingly enough, when the film first came out in Japan, it was panned, and many Japanese critics complained that it was exploiting the suffering of the atomic bomb victims, and they didn't really like it. Also, it's been very close to this fishing vessel hydrogen bomb accident. The film actually did much better in the States when an American company bought the film rights, and in 1956, they released an American version where they imposed footage of this American journalist played by Raymond Burr. Does anyone know who's Raymond?
Ironside.
What's that?
Ironside, isn't it?
Yeah, and he was also Perry Mason later on. Footage of Raymond Burr superimposed onto the Japanese film to kind of give it kind of a documentary feel and also make it easier to understand to American audiences. So I'm now going to play a little clip from the American version and note the difference in tone.
Godzilla, king of the monsters, alive, surging up from the depths of the sea on a tidal wave of terror to wreak vengeance on mankind. Godzilla, king of the monsters, it's alive, a gigantic beast, stalking the earth, crushing all before it in a cyclonic cavalcade of electrifying horror, raging through the streets of a stage of total destruction. Godzilla, king of the monsters, incredible titan of terror, wiping out a city of 6 million in a holocaust of flames. Yet flames cannot destroy it, bombs cannot kill it, all modern weapons fail. Is this the end of our civilization? Can the scientists of the world find a way to stop this creature? For the answer, see Godzilla, king of the monsters. You may wish to deny it, but your eyes tell you it's true. A tale to stun the mind.
Plays an American journalist.
More fantastic than any ever written by Jules Verne. More terrifying than any ever shown on the screen. Awesome. Incredible. Unbelievable. A story beyond your wildest dreams. Dynamic violence. Spectacular thrill. Godzilla, king of the monsters. Fantastic beyond comprehension. Gripping beyond compare. Astounding beyond belief. The mightiest monster of them all. See Godzilla, king of the monsters.
We've come a long way since these days where we had not very subtle advertising. But the point I'd like to make with regards to this American version was, despite the very notable absence of piling dead bodies and radiation victims coming into the hospital, which existed in the Japanese version, this American film was actually quite an important event because it was the first time post-World War II that the Japanese had been shown in a film playing principal heroic roles or victims of destruction. Americans had imposed a whole number of restrictions on the Japanese film industry. So that's the significance of this film. Now, we move on to the next era of the Godzilla films. And even though he started his career as an unambiguously destructive and evil force, Godzilla didn't stay this way. He soon he started to move away from his menacing image and went on to become more of the protector of Japan and the Earth from his fellow alien monsters that would come and attack Japan. And as a result, in the 60s, he started to adopt more anthropomorphic characteristics. For example, the Disney eyes, the widening of the eyes, and he would also sometimes defeat his enemies using martial art moves. In 1967, they even went as far as giving Godzilla a son called Minilla, is the name of this guy right here, to kind of show his caring parental side and to make him more likable to a younger audience. Now, this period was called the Showa series. And my interest in Godzilla actually came much later, in the 1990s, with this reboot. I was 3 years old and we went to Japan. And what I liked about the Heisei series, which spanned from 1984 to 1995, was that it dealt more with science, with evolution, with the genetics and the biology of Godzilla. He returned to his original sort of menacing look, and the characters were well-rounded, and the special effects was very credible at this time. There were a couple more posters. One of my favorite enemies was King Ghidorah. I got my parents to buy me figurines of both Godzilla and King Ghidorah when I was a kid, 3 years old. Now, moving on to the Millennium series, I felt like the film started to get a bit too out of control. And by this, there were just too many monsters in the movies, so much so that the story arc would be very confusing, and there would be these very shallow kind of characters that were kind of a bit Power Ranger-y. And in this sense, I really felt like the Godzilla films had kind of suffered from the same fate as that of the Star Wars prequels, the Jurassic Park sequels, Batman under Joel Schumacher. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And to make matters worse, in 1998 we got this monstrosity, Godzilla, the American remake, which was more about a generic blonde New Yorker trying to achieve self-actualization by realizing her dreams of becoming a journalist with the help of a giant radioactive lizard. It was just too much special effects and no plot, no storyline. It just felt like they just got a bunch of CGI specialists and just bored them to death, telling them, just make something big, just make something huge. And we ended up with this. Now, Godzilla's reign truly came to an end for me, and for the rest of the world really, in 2004, when the final Japanese Godzilla film, called Final Wars, was an absolute box office disaster. Toho said that they're no longer going to make any more Godzilla films, and they destroyed the water stage that they used to use for the entrance of Godzilla into Tokyo. Now that was 10 years ago, and that has been the case up until now. But next year, March 2014, Godzilla is set to hit our screens once again in a remake directed by Gareth Edwards and produced by Legendary and Warner Brothers, starring Ken Watanabe. This is actually very promising for us Godzilla fans because it's said that the story is going to deal more with the kind of battle of man against nature, and it's going to return him to his original 1954 feel, rather than the last thing we wanted to see was another kind of giant iguana running around New York and taking out all his pent-up atomic anger on yellow cabs and John Reno. So with that in mind, I'd like you to leave you with a final teaser trailer of the final film. You can't get this trailer on YouTube, actually. I have to download it. So I've broken a whole bunch of copyright rules. But this is what you might be able to look forward to watching next year. The iconic Godzilla roar.
He knew the world would not be the same. People cried. But people were silent. I remember the lines in his picture.
Thank you very much.
And a big hand for Yuki Takeshi, ladies and gentlemen. So I did notice he left out the entire Barney the Dinosaur era, which is massive oversight. How can you possibly have a history of Godzilla without him? But nonetheless, now we'd like to go on to a bit of a 50 Shades of Geek classic. We have the next section is, it's like Mock the Week, but it's not Mock the Week, not Mock the Week for legal reasons, of course, but it just resembles it ever so slightly. So what I'd like to do is call back our speakers from earlier on, and we're going to fire a few questions at them, and then you, the audience, will decide who has won out in their answers. So guys, come on back up to the stage. So come on, limber on up. Oh, she's really going for it this evening. Do you bench presses or anything? No? You're good? You're good?
How is that a bench press?
Does this look like someone who exercises?
Yeah.
That's CPR. I don't know.
Okay, my first question to you. Which alien or monster would you like to be roommates with, and why?
Q from Star Trek.
What?
If you get me any, that intro.
Okay.
Or he could be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be anyone, that's true. I'd go for the Cookie Monster. Like, endless supply of cookies and like, yeah,
He
hugs.
doesn't
He
eat
wouldn't
cookies
share.
anymore.
Yeah, and he wouldn't let you
He eats them.
He'd eat them all himself.
And to be fair, now he eats a balanced diet.
Unless you enjoy watching someone eat cookies.
No.
And they'd be on the crumbs.
Cookie Monster
The
now
rubbish.
He's got healthy.
It was a bad thing for kids.
He's the
And me as
vegetable
well.
monster now. Oh, no.
But in any case, you don't get any food from him.
That's just ruined your childhood.
Yeah, you're
does.
shattering her dreams.
You don't get anything
No,
from
me and my
Cookie
Cookie
Monster,
Monster,
because he gave you
arm in arm, he gives me hugs and gives me cookies.
So Elmo. You just want Elmo.
Elmo.
Oh, that's
Elmo with cookies.
Elmo is so
Emma's all about the candy.
See, this is when he gets drunk and it becomes a Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's bad.
Pretty good.
I don't particularly mind. The only person I wouldn't want to have as my roommate probably is
Godzilla.
Captain Planet. Because, first of all, he'd be going on about recycling all the time. You remember he used to go on about recycling at the end of his little show? And secondly, because everyone will think we're gay.
That's not a bad thing.
Not Captain
It's not a
Planet.
bad thing. You'd make a great boyfriend.
I would, that's the problem. I need to kind of get more in touch with my masculine side rather than my feminine side.
Our next question. Which alien or monster should run the country and why?
Big the merciless. He gets stuff done. He's got the tallest buildings, the gives you respect. Yeah, I mean, I think people would really look up to us if people were.
They'd have to.
They have to, yes.
Are you sort of self-styled on being
Yes, I am.
And most of the resemblance, but yeah. For me, I think Spock, right? He does everything very logically. He would have this country ship-shape in no time. No messing around with him. Yeah.
When Captain Kirk might piss him off, he might explode. Captain Kirk will have to run.
Spock has never exploded.
Spock does explode!
No, but that's only when he's been given emotion. That doesn't happen very often.
I think I'd go for, you were talking about Doctor Who. I think I'd go for Doctor Who because he's British and also because he can go back in time and then sort everything out. Well, he's only been played by British actors. So I think he is British and he has a great affinity towards Britain for some strange reason. You never see him in Angola or
No, you don't.
Czech Republic.
It's true. He used to travel.
He needs to get a better frame of
We
reference.
need to have a passport.
Maybe he only thinks that there's a UK and he doesn't know that the rest of the world exists. He
No,
thinks
that's
planet
Americans.
Earth is-
Yes.
Maybe it's not.
Right. Okay. Which alien or monster would make the worst girlfriend or boyfriend?
Okay. Well, for the guys, the three-breasted alien from Total Recall.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that would be quite popular. Yes. Don't know. I haven't thought of one for the girls yet.
The bird from Species.
Seal.
These two guys.
Seal. That's her name.
Her name is
Oh,
Seal.
okay.
You mean
Yeah,
like
you
that,
got
that,
there.
that one?
No,
No.
Yeah.
spelled different.
Literally, like, yeah, you have
she
to
would eat
that
you.
she'll kill you.
At least in normal life, you wait until marriage before that.
Yeah,
comes
before
along.
she starts killing you, yes.
So that's the worst, isn't it? That's the worst. Is the question the worst?
The worst, yes.
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, on
Oh,
a
I think
similar.
it's the best.
I did hit best as well.
It's
Yeah.
not best or worst.
Alright.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Reading my own writing again.
The worst. Does anyone see Splice?
Yes.
Splice. Dren. Oh my God.
Do you know what, you're right,
Yeah.
because
She's crazy.
But halfway through it, she has a sex change. and
Yeah.
She's a bloke.
She has sex.
So it's like the worst for everybody.
It's like,
Whoa,
whoa,
you shake.
That was
Then has
just
a
a
sex
brilliant
change.
idea.
Then has sex.
So that's
With both his parents,
I'd
yeah.
have sex with you and
So
your
I
girlfriend.
can't keep up that kind of crazy demand.
But that could be the best as well for the girl. No.
Why?
No.
Because
You gotta watch the movie.
she's a girl at the beginning and a boy at the end.
so what's that?
Yeah,
So-
so it's a
Well,
threesome.
technically, you should do the word in the beginning, and then just go.
Okay, this is getting complicated.
Okay.
I need to see this. I think I'm really missing out.
It's a
How many
terrible
people
film.
have seen this?
One.
I've actually only seen the trailer.
It was very
TV
good.
years ago.
It was good.
Yeah.
All right, next on up. Which alien and monster team would make the best partners in an 80s cop movie?
Okay, tough one. I can see some. I think I'm going to go with Spock again for that homoerotic edge between him and Captain Kirk.
See, I would have gone with Spock and Bones because it was he's like so emotional and he's like. So yeah, I think them two together.
I'm still my answer.
Okay, you Spock.
I'm a bit offended about this homoerotic thing with Kirk and Spock.
Why is that? There's that edge.
No.
Yeah.
Tension.
It's the whole romance.
Yeah,
there is tension.
Yeah, spend the day with your laptop on the
It's-
internet.
it's like-
Explore
it's
too many of you
It's like, I know I've got to
Unspoken.
with your emotional woman side. There's no tension between Kirk and Spock.
Ah.
I don't see it, sorry.
Do you feel the same about Burton Early in Sesame Street?
Definitely.
I'd probably.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin is good.
They're not monsters or angels.
I'm going to go
I'm talking
for.
about the homo thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definite. No, yeah,
That's
definite.
That's not even.
I'm going to go for like what's it called? You know those two bony skeleton-y things.
Goonies.
The cartoon.
What, in the kids show?
Yeah. What was it called?
Funny face.
Funny Bones. Those guys.
Because we were talking about this yesterday.
I mean, just skeletons.
I don't think they're very monsters.
Okay, that's true.
They're alive though.
That's true, they're monsters.
I'd go for them because they're very minimalist.
And that's what you want from a detective?
Yeah, you need to get straight to the point.
Minimalist is just, that's not getting straight to the point, isn't it? It's just like avoiding the point. It's like a foul.
You don't have to bother with digestion and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be
I
very
agree.
strict.
More
Yeah.
Waste
efficient.
their time.
Eating's
Yeah.
a waste of
Eating,
time.
yeah, don't do that, yeah.
That's what we've been
And they've got a dog to sniff things out.
That's true.
Ah.
He's thought this through.
He's thinking it through.
He's thinking.
Well, it was either him or Banana Man.
Oh, Banana Man's awesome.
The
He'd be the best boyfriend.
Why?
I don't. He's
Why?
No, because they'd be spotty just lurking around.
There's a
Yeah.
10-year-old boy inside.
That would just be great.
Okay, yeah, alright. I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, probably before the police arrive.
Yes. He's got lots of bananas.
Is this an important fact?
It's very, that's all you want, your potassium.
okay.
Bananas are very nutritious.
Sabrina just wants to eat bananas.
Exactly, she just needs a lot of
She's going to
potassium.
get graphic in a second.
This
Just
is a giant.
You can just date a greengrocer though, and then you get more of your 5 day, not just bananas.
It's not big enough.
Okay, and finally, alien or monster you choose to be chasing after you and why?
This is a terrible question.
Alien or monster?
Chasing after me.
Alf, because I can keep his ass.
Yeah.
Monsters.
We need a really out of shape monster.
That's a shame monster.
So
Yeah.
like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt. Yeah. Could outrun him, no problem.
Jabba would hire other people.
That's-
Yes, he would.
He's got money, he's got the finances. He's got a rancor for crying out loud.
See, I'm still with Alf because, like, not only could you kick his ass, you can eat him up. Barbecue.
Why would you eat it off?
I think we found a new monster
Leave
for
Alf
the
alone.
Oh, come on. You can eat anybody. Or that, like, eat your elbow if you want.
Don't get Sabrina started on that, she'll start talking about eating banana man. Anyway, Yuki.
The blue jelly thing in that film with Reese Witherspoon.
There's a blue
It just came to my mind.
Blue jelly
Oh, is it the one?
I don't even know the name of the film.
Legally Blonde?
There was that jelly thing, and there was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
you don't even know
Jelly?
things.
What's the like?
Yes.
It was just jelly.
Was it an alien?
It was, and the girl came like a giant. It was a giant.
It was like Flubber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's go for Flubber. Let's go for
Yeah.
I can't remember what the question was. It's
Cover the answer to all
But
questions.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, now guys, it is your turn to vote for who gave you the best answers this evening. Let's start off. We're going to do this by a round of applause. So, let's start with Sook. If Sook was your guy, round of applause now. And now for Sabrina.
Come on, friends. That was that.
Now for Yuki. Yeah, that's basically it. I can't differentiate it.
Everyone wins.
Yeah, everyone wins. The grand prizes are enduring respect. So
You eat it after your banana man. Yes.
thank you very much, guys. Well, I think that just about brings our evening to the close. We will, however, still be pottering around down in the bar afterwards for more geeky chit-chat, etc., etc. And I'm sure Sabrina will be in touch regarding the next 50 Shades of Geek in the next year. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you indeed.
Thank you.
Music.
Let's talk about these.
I didn't know. Because obviously, the Americans wanted to do and what you were saying was millions of years. Yeah, that's not that weird. Something I didn't know. I enjoyed it more than the whole steady cam shit. You know, it's all been done. With it did worse. Especially the end, you know. That's a challenge for all these stories from the band. You know, we've had too much of an era always save the day. We need some old 70s stuff where the hero does have sometimes the hero like it's one of the American with English sci-fi, especially in the 70s and 80s, Harold Hammett, the way